So I want to share this for like how deranged people really became.
Oh God, that retard. Sorry.
I grabbed these screenshots because this person deactivated their account now. But I saw this, and this was someone that like I followed because I thought they did some cool cosplays with a Apex Legends character. And
Lobo, more than likely.
No, actually, what's her name? Bangalore.
Oh, okay, Bangalore. I wasn't going to guess that. I promise you.
And they had some like interesting takes, but they were never like totally extreme. Then I saw this. Chris Rock's joke was written by a white woman. Let that sink in. And then 6 minutes later, she quote tweets FaZe Snipe Down and says, please stick to video games, because his tweet was Will Smith was 100% was wrong 1000%. Chris Rock, a whole comedian, and that joke was as light as a feather compared to what he dealt with these past few years about their very open relationship. Sure. Shocked he wasn't even escorted out after publicly assaulting someone. I don't care about the award. So she thinks that's a bogus take and says stick to video games.
I can't argue with him. That he's pretty much correct in that entire assessment.
Right? Like right on it. So she responds to that. Also, you're whitey, which is code for white, right? Because you can't come out and just say it. You might get be called a racist.
Oh, this time I thought it was YouTube.
That's what I thought at first.
You're YouTube.
You're right. That's what I thought. Also, you're right.
I'm not Susan. I don't have that money. What do you mean?
So, of course, you don't see the nuance in that insult. Shut the up forever. Don't worry. It gets better.
Oh God. Better is in quotations.
A few minutes later, she writes, you're white and I'm not explaining it to you. Google is free. He tweeted, they're both in the wrong. And what does being white have to do with having an opinion on a terrible joke? Again, pretty innocuous take. Nothing extreme going on in that tweet, but somehow he's wrong because he's white, right?
Yeah.
Following that up, she writes, y'all children of the chalk can miss me with this. This isn't a conversation you have weight in, because clearly you don't understand why the insult was hurtful to black people. Kindly eat a dick and choke.
I want to go ahead and say that I'm not an advocate for black people. I'm just black. That's it. But like the whole thing, I hate with a burning passion when people use the entire race of a specific sect of like humans. Like, oh, you don't know what black people have gone through. What? Huh? What? I'm sorry, I didn't know you were in chains. I didn't know you were in Roots, or going through Roots situations, or on Amistad or some shit like that. I didn't know you were in Africa when your great grandpappy was getting snatched up by probably another black person, or maybe an English settler or whatever. Right. Like I didn't know any of that happened to you specifically. Like that shit rose me when people go, oh well, you know what? Black people have been suffering for this. That's a lie. You see those two successful black people who just slapped each other
over a successful black woman.
Over a successful black. And the thing is, I will read that to filth. Like I'm so sick of Jada. Like Jada deserves nothing. Like everything. I'm not afraid to say everything that she has. And some other. I completely forgot she was in. She was in The Matrix. That's right. But everything that she's done is completely arbitrary in comparison to what Will's built. So like everything she's done, everything she has is off of his coattails. I'm not afraid to say that at all.
Right. So
this whole like, oh well, you're white, therefore you have no opinion. Look. It could have been Ricky Gervais and Tom Hanks for Revenge from 2019. Like, who cares? Somebody got slapped. Now we talking about it. That's all. The skin tone don't matter. Race, gender don't matter. None of that shit matters. Somebody got slapped. We talking about it. That's it.
Yeah. Well, and we bring up Ricky Gervais. Ricky Gervais hosted the Oscars a few years ago, and annihilated the entire room by like roasting them, like calling out Tim Cook. He was sitting right there, calling him like I forget what the jokes were exactly. I think it had something to do with like sweatshops or something in China.
Yep. There was sweatshops. There was definitely an island mentioned.
Right, dude. Like everybody was getting roasted. Not one person got up and hit anyone. Like he may have arguably deserved it. Like he at that point he was so resigned from Hollywood and their bullshit that he was just like, I don't even care anymore. This is the last time I'm doing it. So let's go. I'm pulling out all the stops. Yeah, he's like, I'm going out in style. And nice. Boy did he. And you know, again, I'm sure Chris, you know, said this joke thinking like, I'm not even going to mention alopecia. I'm just going to say you have a bald head. And she didn't even say you're bald head. It was just like you know, G.I. Jane 2, when's it coming out?
Apparently he didn't even know she had alopecia.
Yeah, that's that too. But the thing that threw me for a loop was like, I didn't know she had alopecia until somebody brought it up in an until I read it in an article. I'm sitting here looking at it like I didn't know what alopecia was. I'm reading it, I'm thinking of fruit, like some kind of new fruit or something like that. When the way that it is on the screen, and I hear somebody pronounce it. And I was like, that sounds like somebody I know from like the hood or something.
Oh God, I saw someone else make that tweet. It sounds like a black woman name.
That's that girl, alopecia. She's out there with bonquish and tinnitus. Like they was just chilling.
Oh my God. Yeah. So the bad gentleman said Gervais brought up Epstein and how some of the people in there were friends with him, you know, like it's too bad. It's too bad we live in this society now. And I don't know if, you know, maybe I guess like in a way Trump exposed people for how weak they were and not being able to like just be normal and take a joke. We used to be able to take a joke, and those tweets I showed you, those probably aren't even the worst ones. No. There were plenty out there that that were just god awful. She kept making up names. I think like Alabaster Crab was another one.
Yeah, Alabaster Crab
cockroach.
Alabaster cockroach.
No, snow cockroach.
That was actually. She said alabaster cockroach once, then she said snow cockroach another time.
Okay.
You know what bothers me about all of these like nicknames that they got against white people is that none of this shit is really creative. They're just taking another way of saying white and using something that's like demeaning as a noun in the insult, like a cockroach or something like that. It's like,
well, you saw the meme I made.
Fucking lazy. Yeah, I saw the meme you made.
I still got to figure out how to make an alabaster cockroach. So I promised people that I'm going to be spending some time in Photoshop. Yeah.
Yeah, let's like these people are just so fucking. It's lazy. I'm sitting here thinking to myself, it's like, come on now, like. I'm pretty sure any of the dogs in this house right now, including the puppies, can come up with something better.
Well, it's unfortunate because even in those tweets exchange, she talks about, and you might remember this, Amorata. She was having a back and forth because she saw my tweet and then like retweeted her, and so she kept going back and forth. But at one point, she talked. The person in question, not engaged or whatever, starts talking about how she's half white. First of all. So I thought it was interesting that she's
the high yellow ones.
Right. And then she says like, I lived my half of my life as a white woman or something in like white culture. And then, so now I'm doubling down or whatever. And it's my time to take it back, take my black heritage back. And I was just like, do you hear yourself? Like, do you understand? Like, I mean, you couldn't sound more racist than this person did. I'm glad they deactivated their account because they just looked hella stupid.
And if I recall, their claim to being white was their grandfather was Italian, was an immigrant in Italian. And if you know anything about history, the Italian immigrants were not spared from racism.
No,
nobody. I mean, literally nobody was spared from it. Mm-hmm. I mean, they had. I mean, it was almost like the Irish where you had, no need to apply and all that shit. The list of names of derogatory names for an Italian person is astounding.
Oh, it's quite extensive.
Yeah.
Lasagna is still my favorite.
I love lasagna.
I can't repeat any of the ones I know because they're legitimately, some people get legitimately upset about them. So.
Yeah.
wait. When we're off, when the show is over, I want to hear you mention some of these, and if I happen to get angry, I'll know if I'm Italian.
Stay tuned for the after show for all paid subscribers.